The Iberian Peninsula, the land we know today as Spain, has a long and rich history. Long before the Romans, Greeks, or even the Celts, indigenous tribes called Iberians lived there. These people were skilled metal workers and traders. They left behind beautiful artifacts and intricate pottery. Around the 9th century BCE, Celtic people migrated from Central Europe. They settled in the northern and western parts of the peninsula. The Celts intermingled with the Iberians, creating a vibrant Celtic Iberian culture. Phoenicians, known for their seafaring skills and trade networks, established colonies along the coast. The Greeks followed, founding their own settlements and introducing their culture and philosophy. Carthage, a powerful North African empire, also set its sights on Iberia, leading to conflicts with Rome. In 218 BCE, Rome, locked in a struggle for dominance with Carthage, invaded the Iberian Peninsula. This marked the beginning of the Roman conquest of Iberia, a process that would take over 2 centuries to complete. The Romans faced fierce resistance from the native Iberian tribes, particularly the Celtiberians, who were known for their warrior culture. However, Roman military might and strategic prowess proved too strong. By 19 BCE, the entire Iberian Peninsula was under Roman control. It was divided into provinces and renamed Hispania. Under Roman rule, Hispania underwent a profound transformation. Roman law, language, and culture were introduced, leaving an enduring legacy on the peninsula. The Romans built roads, aqueducts, and cities, connecting Hispania with the rest of the Roman Empire. Hispania flourished under Roman rule, becoming an integral part of the empire. In the early 5th century CE, as the Western Roman Empire crumbled, waves of Germanic tribes swept across Europe. Among them were the Visigoths, who established their kingdom in southwestern Gaul, modern-day France, and eventually expanded into Hispania. The Visigoths, initially allies of Rome, gradually asserted their independence and expanded their control over Hispania. By the end of the 6th century, they had established their capital in Toledo and ruled over most of the peninsula. The Visigoths, unlike the Romans, were not as successful in integrating themselves into Hispano-Roman society. They remained largely separate, maintaining their own laws, customs, and language. In 711 CE, a Muslim Berber army, under the command of Tariq ibn Ziyad, crossed the Strait of Gibraltar from North Africa and landed in Hispania. The Visigothic kingdom, weakened by internal strife and unable to withstand the Muslim onslaught, collapsed within a few years. The Muslim conquerors, known as Moors, established a new Islamic state in Hispania called Al-Andalus. This event dramatically altered the course of Spanish history, ushering in a new era of cultural exchange and conflict. The Muslim conquest of Hispania in 711 CE was not the end of Christian rule on the peninsula. In the northern mountainous regions, small Christian kingdoms held out against the Muslim advance. These kingdoms, such as Asturias, Leon, and Navarre, became the seeds of the Reconquista, the centuries-long struggle to reclaim the Iberian Peninsula from Muslim rule. The Reconquista was not a continuous unified effort, but rather a series of wars, truces, and alliances between Christian and Muslim rulers. Over the centuries, the Christian kingdoms gradually expanded their territories southward. The capture of Toledo in 1085 CE was a major turning point, shifting the balance of power in favor of the Christian kingdoms. By the mid-13th century, only the Emirate of Granada in the south remained under Muslim control. Finally, in 1492, after a decade-long campaign, King Ferdinand II of Aragon and Queen Isabella I of Castile captured Granada, ending over 7 centuries of Muslim rule in Hispania. The completion of the Reconquista coincided with the dawn of the Age of Exploration, propelling Spain to the forefront of the world stage. The late 15th century marked a pivotal moment in Spanish history. In 1492, the same year that Granada fell, a Genoese explorer named Christopher Columbus, sailing under the patronage of the Spanish monarchs Ferdinand and Isabella, reached the Americas. Columbus's voyages, while initially seeking a western sea route to Asia, opened up a new world to European exploration and colonization. Spain, flush with the wealth of the Reconquista and eager to expand its influence, embarked on an ambitious campaign of exploration and conquest in the Americas. Spanish conquistadors, driven by a thirst for gold and glory, conquered vast territories from Mexico to Peru. The Aztec and Inca empires, once mighty civilizations, fell to the Spanish, their wealth flowing back to Spain. The influx of gold and silver from the Americas fueled Spain's rise as a global power. The Spanish Empire, spanning across the Americas, the Philippines and parts of Europe, became the first truly global empire. Spain's newfound wealth and power had a profound impact on European politics and economics. The 16th century is often referred to as Spain's Golden Age, a period of cultural flourishing. Under the Habsburg dynasty, Spain emerged as a major center of art, literature and music. Writers like Miguel de Cervantes and Lope de Vega produced enduring works of Spanish literature. Artists like El Greco and Diego Velázquez created masterpieces that captured the spirit of the age. Spain's wealth from its empire fueled lavish patronage of the arts. In 1588, King Philip II launched the Spanish Armada against England. The Armada's defeat marked a turning point in European power dynamics. The death of King Charles II of Spain in 1700 without an heir plunged Europe into a major conflict. The leading contenders were the French and Austrian Habsburgs. Other European powers formed a grand alliance to oppose French ambitions. The Treaty of Utrecht in 1713 ended the war. It recognized Philip of Anjou as King Philip V of Spain. The French Revolution and the subsequent rise of Napoleon Bonaparte in France had a profound impact on Spain. In 1808, Napoleon's forces invaded Spain, deposing King Ferdinand VII and placing his brother Joseph Bonaparte on the Spanish throne. The Spanish people, outraged by the French occupation, rose up in a fierce war of independence. The Spanish War of Independence, from 1808 to 1814, was a brutal and protracted conflict that pitted Spanish guerrillas and British allies against Napoleon's forces. The war had a devastating impact on Spain, weakening its already fragile economy and further fragmenting its society. It also led to the loss of most of Spain's remaining American colonies, as independence movements erupted across Latin America. By the time Napoleon was defeated in 1814, Spain was a shadow of its former self. The once mighty Spanish Empire was reduced to a few overseas possessions. The 19th century was a turbulent period for Spain, marked by political instability, social unrest, and economic crises. The country experienced a series of coups, revolutions, and changes in government, as liberals, conservatives, and other factions vied for power. The loss of its American colonies in the early part of the century dealt a severe blow to Spain's economy and prestige. Regionalist movements, particularly in Catalonia and the Basque Country, gained momentum, seeking greater autonomy or even independence from the central government. The Spanish-American War in 1898, which resulted in the loss of Cuba, Puerto Rico, and the Philippines, further highlighted Spain's decline as a colonial power. The defeat in the war had a profound psychological impact on the Spanish psyche, exacerbating existing social and political divisions. Spain entered the 20th century facing significant challenges, with deep-seated divisions and a yearning for stability and modernization. The early 20th century saw Spain grappling with political instability, social unrest, and economic inequality. These tensions culminated in the outbreak of the Spanish Civil War in 1936. The war was a complex and brutal conflict that pitted the left-wing Republican government against the right-wing nationalist forces led by General Francisco Franco. The nationalists, backed by Nazi Germany and Fascist Italy, ultimately emerged victorious in 1939. Franco's victory ushered in a period of authoritarian rule that lasted for nearly 4 decades. Franco's regime was characterized by repression, censorship, and the suppression of political dissent. Spain remained largely isolated from the rest of Europe during this period, its economy lagging behind its European neighbors. Following the death of General Franco in 1975, Spain embarked on a remarkable transition to democracy. The country adopted a new constitution in 1978, establishing a parliamentary monarchy and guaranteeing fundamental rights and freedoms. Spain rejoined the international community, becoming a member of the European Union in 1986. The country experienced a period of economic growth and modernization, embracing its newfound democratic freedoms. However, modern Spain has also faced its share of challenges. The 2008 financial crisis hit Spain particularly hard, resulting in high unemployment, austerity measures, and social unrest. Despite these challenges, Spain has demonstrated resilience and a commitment to democratic values.